Welcome back to the weekend show. Joining me are Odiri, our sports correspondent, and Ina Peters, our entertainment correspondent. Hello, ladies.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How was your week?
It was good. It was great.
What did you get up to?
You know, some things you can't see on TV.
Oh, a lot of entertainment, Ina. How about you, Odiri?
A lot of things, sporty things that you always have to do things. Maybe exercise, move around a lot. But there's some sad news coming in sports this weekend.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear all about it. Now, on the political scene, so much happened this week. We all heard about the Shiites versus the military clash that occurred. Over 40 persons were killed during this clash. There was so much unrest in Nigeria's federal capital territory, Abuja, as soldiers, police clashed with Islamic movement of Nigeria over the detention of Shiite leader El-Zakzaky. The court has ordered the release of El-Zakzaky, but the federal government is still holding him in their custody. They also claim that they're holding him for his protection. But during one of my interviews with one of their leaders, they asked, protecting him from who? So we're just hoping that this situation gets resolved as soon as possible. Yesterday, the president officially received his WAEC certificate. There was a lot of commotion and reaction to this on social media, and I'm sure Ina would bring you some of that on our social media trends.
Yes, I will. You know, when I saw it, I was like, I had to really go back and check my own credentials. And I don't remember having like a passport photograph up there. So
No, I think that was a recent photograph because that
yeah, that's like a
like
very very recent, but oh well.
Interesting times ahead.
I do have a picture of myself on my certificate, but I didn't have any gray hairs, did I? No.
Interesting times ahead. More videos of the executive governor of Kano State, Governor Ganduje, receiving bribes from alleged contractors. This is the third video that has been released regarding this issue. His chief press secretary had released a statement earlier on saying that Governor Ganduje was cloned in this video. Then the journalist who had released the video released a second video with the audio. Now the third video, you can hear the governor making comments, oh, I've not seen money like this before. When I was deputy governor, I've not received money like this. So it's very interesting to see how he'll get away from this one. The State House of Assembly invited him for a probe, and he did not show up for that because he heard he had to swear the Quran. So it will be very interesting to see how the EFCC deals with this moving forward.
I think it's getting to a time where we need to find out what the currency exchange rate is between Gan dollars and Naira. Would like to know that.
Most definitely, most definitely. Moving forward, the the federal government, the NLC and state governors disagree over minimum wage as Labour threatens another strike again. This is just a recurring issue. We saw that they had agreed for 30,000, then federal government went back on their words and said, no, we can only afford 24,000. State governors said they can only pay a certain amount. So I really don't know what the solution is, given the fact that when the minimum wage was at 18,000, the governors were still struggling to pay. In some states, they were owing over 12-month salary.
Months.
So I don't know what the way forward is.
Not exactly a way forward, but first of all, you're going to strike and you want them to increase the salaries. The first problem, you decided to completely ignore it. And that's the problem of the state government's not paying. I think that was 7,000 naira minimum wage. They're not paying. They're owing like 12 months in some states. That is, to me, that's the first thing you should go on strike for. Now, talking about the minimum wage, it's if you, for instance, you go to the market, you have a list of things you want to buy, right? So, you get to the market and the price is more than what you budgeted. So you have to come back and say, oh, it's not enough. Can we cut down on the price? The government has a right to say, oh, we can't pay 30, we can pay 20, we can pay 22. Okay, I just think that we are adults and the government are probably experienced with negotiations and all this. So they should sit down and talk to the labor guys and say, okay, this is how much we can pay. In fact, before they call labor, they should sit down with the state governments and agree on a price, on an amount they can pay, so that we don't go back and forth and someone's threatening strike and then that. But we should go on strike for the salaries being owed. People need to feed their families.
Yes, but hopefully the strike leads to something profitable and something substantial, given the fact that labor union has gone on strike several times, and we're still talking about this in 2018. But moving forward, Nigerians mourn the demise of elder statesman Tony Aneni. Tony Aneni was a political stalwart of the PDP. He was one of the founding fathers, and we'll be discussing more about this on the political segment of the weekend show. Very lastly, Governor El Rufai confirms Dr. Hadiza Balarabe as his running mate, leading to the 2019 gubernatorial polls. Dr. Hadiza is also a Muslim, so this would be the first Muslim ticket in recent times. A lot of reactions have been tweeted, comments on Facebook about this, that how can he be so insensitive to the plight of the people of Kaduna, given the fact that there is so much tension between Christians and Muslims currently ongoing. So I don't know. Time would tell how this situation will play out. But let me hear from you. What's going on in the entertainment world?
So congratulations are in order for Starboy Wizkid as he joins the list of highest paid artists for bookings in the world. Now, of course, this became very evident and clear after he went to India to perform at some royal wedding, and then, you know, it got to some sites how much, you know, he was paid. And look, in my next life,
How much is he paid?
it is like the bills, like, it's about $681,200. That's about 245.9 million naira.
Stew.
245.
Now that is stew. That is the definition of stew. What?
Like, and then he has gone on to buy himself, you know, a Lamborghini, and it's well deserved because look, hey, he just made, like, in one performance, right? So it's like one night you go out, and mind you, there's also logistics. So this might actually be like different, like the logistics fee might actually be different from this actual fee. So
this is just his take home.
That's just his take home. And then you go to India, you see great sights, and then you take good pictures, and then you come back. Look, I don't know.
Ina, you say your next life. I'll start rehearsing from today.
I mean, well, you know what? He's Starboy Wizkid, so he's, you know, he's awesome. And it's good to see that at the end of the day, Nigerians and our music can actually compete. You know, people from different religions and continents actually want to have our artists at their events and want our artists to play our music. So I think it's great.
Davido charge?
I don't know. I really don't know. So I think it's great, definitely. I feel it would also increase the pay of other artists
Because I
when
was
they're
wondering,
going out.
because if Davido can afford a private jet and Wizkid is getting paid this and he can afford a Lamborghini, so does that mean he's getting paid more? And if so, we need to really, you know, re-strategize and understand where we're going in our lives.
Yeah, at the end of it, yeah. But, you know, I would see it as a plus for the music industry. African music is being appreciated. Afrobeats is being welcomed everywhere,
Most
even in
definitely.
continents that you think might not really be as flexible as, because, you know, we know India, but then again, it's a great news for everybody. It's a great news for every Nigerian and every African to celebrate that our artists are now on the world-class stage with these other, you know, big stars, the Beyonce, the Jay-Z's, the Nicki Minaj. So I think it's great for, you know, our continent. And of course, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B feud. I don't know if you guys saw it, but yes, they are at it again. So Nicki Minaj called Cardi B out saying, remember the fights that happened at the high standard Hollywood event? Well, there was this bump on Cardi B's head, and Cardi B was saying, oh, it was some security guys that actually hit her. But Nicki Minaj came out and said, no, it wasn't no security guard. It was her friend Ra Ali that actually beat Cardi B to, you know, that whole thing. But they allowed her to go with her story just because they don't want to get sued, you know, if she ends up bringing up some charges. But guess what? Cardi B has now come out to attack Nicki Minaj, saying Nicki Minaj, after the event, actually leaked her number to the world. So she got a lot of, nasty messages from a lot of people. So it's just back and forth. And it comes at a time where, just on the 31st, Halloween was just celebrated, right? And we did see Beyonce pay tribute to Toni Braxton. So why can't these two queens just celebrate each other? Like, you're a queen, keep winning, and I'm a queen, keep winning. I really don't know, but people don't, like, I think personally I'm tired of this. I really wish they can just grow up. So yeah, that's it. But yeah, so many other things happen, but these definitely were our biggest stories for this week.
Thank you, Ina. How about sports?
Well, it started off last week, Saturday, with a crash, at the King Power Stadium. It was Leicester City's chairman. He lost his life in that crash alongside 4 others. So it's a big shock to the football world and the English Premier League. So a lot of condolence messages have been coming in on Twitter from various clubs, and the man was just loved by the players and staff.
I noticed that. I noticed a lot of people going to his memorial crying. And I was wondering, what impact did he make in their lives besides just owning a football team?
According to the players, he was like a dad to them, like a father. And there was one player who had moved to Manchester City, Jamie Vardy, and he came back to pay his respects, and he was crying. He was being comforted by his wife. It was that bad. People watching, fans watching, even if you've never been to the King Power Stadium, people just feel the impact of the chairman, that's Vishai Brahma, in that one. And he was just the epitome of the club. He made them hit success in 2016, and it was good. But also, we're going to talk about the Super Eagles squad. They released a squad for the African Cup of Nations qualifiers against South Africa. That will be coming up on November 17th. But that's not the main story. When there's a story behind the story. And obviously, there's some serious politicking going on in the team. It's okay if you come out and tell people, there's a reason why Mikel, the captain of the team, doesn't make the squad. But then Mikel doesn't make the squad. And the former vice captain of the squad also doesn't make the list. And then people come out, the coach comes out and say it's injuries, but the players come out and say, no, they're not injuries, I'm not injured. But of course, we see them play week in, week out for the club. So what really is the story there? So we'll try and find out the story behind that story on sports.
Then I noticed Simone Biles was the first female to get 3, what is it?
She got 13 world titles, 13. Ooh.
Black girl magic. I love it. I love it. I watched it and I was so proud that such a young woman. And in the beginning of the game, she was diagnosed with kidney stones or something.
Yeah, she was in the hospital on the eve of the World Championship. But thank God she was able to get up and go back. And she actually said she competed with a little level of pain during the competition. But good for her. I think she's actually surpassed way surpassed Abby Douglas in, of course, from the last Olympics. But a good one for her. And the gymnastics, we have a video of that. We'll probably see some of her performances at the championship.
Wow, awesome. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us today on the headline segment. We'll take a break right now. When we return, we'll bring you some lifestyle topics. It promises to be juicy. Don't go anywhere.